Hello, Taurus and Scorpio Rising, and welcome to your astrology and tarot forecast. Now, I'm doing um, Taurus and Scorpio in one video today because you may or may not know this, but in astrology, there's a lot of duality, and Taurus and Scorpio are opposite each other. So in a lot of ways, dealing with the same kinds of issues. Um, it, Taurus is the beginning of the growing season, the beginning of spring in the northern hemisphere, and Scorpio season is the ending of that season. So it's the death and rebirth cycle, and so Taurus and Scorpio deal with those kinds of matters. Both are fixed signs, and so both are very much about holding status quo and holding space and those kinds of things. So I think it makes a lot of sense, particularly with this astrological forecast, to look at the signs together. But you let me know what you think. Yeah, I think it works, but I would be curious to hear what your perspective is as well. So, I last month I gave you the astrological forecast as I went through and delineated it for your rising sign. So this month I'm asking you to go and check out the video that I will link at the end, which will run through all of the astrology of July, or maybe listen to that first, um, just so you have an idea of what's coming in July, and I will point out some of the highlights and how those are showing up in your charts. So yeah, so I'll link it at the end. I'll put a note in the comments, and so you can find that just the astrology of July video. All right. As with always, please take what works and leave the rest for any reading that I do. Um, these are general readings, and so sometimes I'm gonna resonate with what's going on in your life, and sometimes my archetypal description might be a little bit off. So yeah, take what works and leaves the rest. If any of this resonates with you, though, I do appreciate it if you would give me a like, a subscribe, a share, a comment. It helps the channel grow, it helps my message get out, and it lets me know you're out there, and it makes me happy. So I would appreciate it. I will thank you in advance. Um, by way of introduction, if this is the first time that you're seeing me, my name is Lisa Merrifield. I am with Trails Edge Astrology, and I am a modern psychological astrologer. So, my take on astrology is really about working with people to help them figure out what what they're really here to do, what the longing of their heart is asking them to bring into the world, and then how to work with the energy as it's coming in to most productively do the things that they're trying to do whatever you're meant to accomplish in this life. So I like to say that I like to help people find their paths and make their magic. So, yeah, so we're going to go on and I will talk about the astrology, and then we will do a quick tarot reading to kind of shore up what the energy is looking like. And if you like this format, know that in November I am going to open up a membership where I will do this for you specifically. So these readings are general. Um, but if you become a member, every month I will do this for you, looking at your exact placements, and so it will be really specific to you. I will be able to pick specific dates, um, and indicate where things are going to show up. You will get um, 10 or 15 minute video every month in your inbox, in your email inbox, um, outlining outlining what's going on in the world and what's going on in your chart. So if this appeals to you, keep listening and know that in November that membership will open up. All right, Taurus and Scorpio rising, let's look at the astrology of the month. So, the drumbeat of the month, the kind of the piece that is going to span the month of August and really make it distinct from the month of July, I think, is a Mercury retrograde. We're going to have a Mercury retrograde. Part of it will be in Virgo, but most of it will be in Leo. And so that's going to be big energy this month. There is also a full moon in Aquarius, and a full moon in Aquarius means the sun is in Leo. So that duality between the Aquarius Leo axis. So so the Mercury retrograde and the full moon, so Mercury retrograde will be all month. The full moon is August 19th, will be very much about your public self and your private self. So with Taurus and Scorpio rising, that energy will be in your fourth and 10th houses. So something about external responsibility versus internal responsibility, or home and family versus your working life. And those kinds of things, those kinds of issues are likely to come up in a couple of different ways this month. Um, for Taurus rising, with the Mercury retrograde in particular, you will be working on your internal self, on that most private part of yourself, your home, your family, your roots, your ancestors. So some of that energy will be up for revision. That's where your Leo house is, and so some revision around home, family, roots, the private life. Scorpio rising, the energy will be on the other end of that extreme. You will be focusing on public life and on revising what your public life looks like and how you show up for other people. So, so that's what the Mercury retrograde. So all month you're going to be revising, reviewing, reevaluating that public-private work-life balance, um, with the particular slants. Taurus really focusing on the private life, and Scorpio really focusing on the public life. So then the full moon on August 19th um, adds maybe an exclamation point to all of this. The July full moon was not my favorite, and this one I'm not. I shouldn't say it. It has the potential to bring up some surprising challenges. Full moons are always about endings. This full moon is again in that public-private sphere of your life. Um, how you show up for your family, how you show up for the world. It's gonna be talking to something along those levels, but it's gonna square Uranus in Taurus, and with squaring Uranus in Taurus, um, it we add the element of surprise. Uranus is about liberation, about revolution, and when we have Uranus transits, there is a push to release tension. And um, so during that full moon cycle, while we are in this Leo retrograde, exploring this public-private part of our lives, um, there could be some surprising revelations. There could be some surprising changes. They might be external, they might be internal. It really depends on how everything else hits in your chart, but it's definitely about movement. There's definitely some movement happening in the middle of the month, which can be frustrating because during Mercury retrograde, we might want to move forward. This energy might push us to make some changes or move forward, but we're in a retrograde, so we're really not meant to move forward. And if we make too many changes, if we implement too many new things, we may have to go back and revise and redo. So I'm curious how this full moon is going to show up. It has the potential to Pam Gregory, who is an English astrologer, referred to it as a doozy. So it has the potential to be a lot of energy for that full moon. We also have a Mars Jupiter conjunction this month. It culminates on August 14th in Gemini, and it's forming what's called a T square. It's not a horrible T square. T squares are tense, or is a tense configuration in the chart. It's two planets are in opposition and they're squaring a third planet, and they tend to be very tense. Two of the planets in this one are Venus and Jupiter, um, which no matter how they're configured are not terribly difficult, but they're squaring and opposing Saturn, which can it's kind of a like um, slowing down on what you love and the expansion, um, a refinement of that. The way it's hitting, it's the a piece of it between Jupiter and Saturn is an opening square to something that happened in December of 2020, and so there could be some refinement of what you've been bringing in and building since then. That's a 20-year cycle. Anyway, I won't belabor that point. There's a lot of astrology there that is interesting. Nonetheless, it is to say that right before this full moon, um, Mars and Jupiter are going to come together, and on the full moon, this T square is going to form. Um, the Mars Jupiter conjunction for you is between the second and eighth house. And so it has something to do with resources, something to do with your entanglement with either literally with money or your values or your vulnerable connections to other people. I've heard it called karmic entanglements. So it's something along that kind of axis that the Mars Jupiter conjunction is going to bring up for you, and then the T square that's going to form is going to exacerbate. So for Taurus risings, um, Mars and Jupiter will come together in your second house, which is your house of finances, like your money, your resources, your values, how you spend your time, treasures, and talents. So some energy around that, and Mars Jupiter conjunctions can bring energy and can bring bring a spark. It can be a good thing, and it can also bring a sense of bravado or exaggeration, and so it's one to be careful of, and it's all happening around this full moon. So again, it's one to watch and one to decide how it is that you want to show up in this energy. Scorpio rising, it's happening in your eighth house. So your eighth house is on the other end of that, resources. So while the second house is your money, your eighth house is sometimes called your partner's money, or it's where you're intertwined with other people, your mortgage, your any debt you have, that kind of thing is eighth house kinds of things. So entanglements with others. But it's also how we're vulnerable with others around pieces of ourselves that we allow to commingle with them. So so Mars and Jupiter will come together and then form this larger pattern. Again, it can be really, really excellent. I was looking back to see the last time Jupiter was in Gemini, and I can, I'm a Scorpio rising, so this is why I was looking at it. And it has always meant a time when I made some financial shifts that were positive. So it can be totally positive. Um, but it is a lot of energy. And so, so I think it's worth remembering that we have a Mercury retrograde all month, and that so if you are called to sign a contract, or like just think about it, just pause and remember it's Mercury retrograde. Remember that there is a possibility of exaggeration or of over expansiveness, and work with that accordingly. So, and I'm not trying to fear monger. I'm just trying to say, uh, if it is right, if you're sure it's right, if you put it in your gut and you're like, yes, this is the right thing to do, go for it. If not, you might give it a few weeks until Mercury's out of retrograde and we're a little bit further along this energy. All right, I think those are the aspects I wanted to talk about. So a lot of work-life balance stuff, self and other stuff, and money stuff for you for the month of August. All right, so let's pull some tarot cards to look at some challenges, some opportunities, and what your to-do list might look like. So we are reading from the Prisma Vision Tarot, which is, this box is hard to read, but cute little deck. And then we're going to pull an oracle card to look at what energy center you might work on. And we're pulling from the Chakra Insights oracle deck. Just to see where there is energy that might be blocked, that maybe would be worth working on for you. All right, let's pull our tarot cards and see how the tarot can help us refine this energy for you. So we are looking for Scorpio and Taurus. What can we tell them about opportunities, challenges, and to-do lists? All right, shuffle one more time. All right. Okay. So for your opportunity, we got temperance, which is so interesting because this cycle is so much about work-life balance and financial balance. And so yeah, so there's some calling. Temperance is about balance. Temperance is about, finding the space where you are doing the work you need to do, but not doing too much, and really kind of tuning in and making sure that whatever's going on is resonant in your body. So temperance. So yeah, find the balance, find the calm. If it doesn't feel calm, don't do it. Uh, yeah, and sometimes when we are asked to balance, we actually like contort ourselves so we can hold the balance. We put ourselves in the weird position so that whoever else is in our lives doing whatever they're doing, can do their thing. And sometimes it's okay, and sometimes it's not. And so I think this month in particular, with this Mercury retrograde, with the Mars Jupiter conjunction and the full moon, I want to encourage you to really center. And I wonder, this temperance card could also be asking you to be sure to ground, to be sure that you're put your bare feet on the soil, those kinds of things. Whatever you do to ground, whatever that practice looks like, there's a real opportunity to use those skills this month. All right. What is our challenge? Our challenge this month is the Ace of Wands. And aces are like the purest form of the energy. It's the introduction into the suit. And wands are about passions and creativity. And so I wonder if there's not going to be, maybe around that full moon, maybe there will be some kind of like, this is what we should do, or some kind of new thing that comes in that really speaks to you, really speaks to your passion and your creativity. And maybe there's going to be a challenge with keeping the balance, that maybe it upsets some things or someone in a way. Being that a lot of this energy is between how you are in public and how you are in private, there might be some internal debate, or being that there's the money aspect of it, or resources or values. Maybe it's self and others. But yeah, so maybe some new idea or thing, or like something that really sparks your curiosity or your joy, or your just like, I gotta do that, is going to come in. And so there's an opportunity for balance, and the challenge is going to be perhaps not leaping into something too quickly. And this is interesting. Your to-do list is the Three of Swords. And as you can see, there are three swords in this poor bird. Um, the Three of Swords is the card of heartbreak. And um, so I'm wondering if you're not going to have to make a hard decision this month. If you're not going to have to like there might be something. So you do have an opportunity for balance. There's some opportunity to find balance in the piece, but I wonder if you are not going to have to um, make a choice that's not going to make everybody happy. You're going to have to decide to choose, to choose something that might not be in everyone's best interest. That might and with the fourth, 10th house aspects, it could be something around um, something like, I've got this fabulous job opportunity, but it means I have to move my family, something like that, or I have to move away from my family, something to that effect. Or with the financial resources, um, it could be something related to, um, if I partner to do this thing, then other people are I'm not gonna be able to partner with them, or something to that effect. Or if I spend the money on this, I'm not gonna have that. And how do I feel? Does that feel secure? Those kinds of things. So there's some kind of hard decision that you'll have to make, or a hard step to take that's coming this month. And so that's interesting. And I'm actually going to draw one more card to clarify, um, to ask about strengths that you have, because ending with the Three of Swords is a tough one. So, what strengths can you bring to this situation to help you navigate whatever decision is coming or whatever you're having to balance between? So, Taurus and Scorpio, what can you bring in to help you get where you need to go with the least disruption um, and angst? Let's take this one. Let's see. Oh, Five of Wands. This may be a tough month for you guys, my Taurus and Scorpio friends. The Five of Wands is about conflict. Fives are always about conflict. The Five of Wands is actually, uh, if you're going to get a conflict card, one of the better conflict cards because it's more creative tension. So it's conflict, but usually what it's doing is helping you find a direction to go that that can get you that will get you further along, or figuring out a way through the conflict, or um, but there's a conflict of some sort. So maybe, and this is a strength you have going into it, is perhaps that you're able to weather whatever this conflict is, whatever you're able to find the balance and find and think of it as creative tension that's pushing you to be more authentically who you are and really more in line with what you value and what is true for you. But I'm thinking you're going to have some interesting choices and interesting energy this month, my friends. So let's pull an oracle card and see um, what chakra work would be beneficial in helping you come through the month of August. All right, what do Taurus and Scorpio need? What work will help find temperance, find balance for Taurus and Scorpio risings? All right, and we got relationships. So something about working on, and let me look at the book. I think this is, sorry, pens are going everywhere. I think this is a sacral chakra card. Does it say? Um, this is base chakra. Sacral chakra. Yeah. This is your sacral chakra, which is your creativity center. It's in the middle of your belly. So the keywords on this card are intimacy, freedom, acceptance, and trust. And so I'm going to go back to, I think there's some grounding work to do, some real connection to your lower chakras, connection to earth, connection to family, connection to other people. So as you go through whatever it is you're going to go through this month, whatever surprises that may come up or frustrations that may come up, there's something about being in relationships and working in those lower chakras, like, yeah, just forming the connections, being with the people you love. That's going to be helpful and supportive for you on this journey. And with the Three of Swords, like, you may be leaving somebody that you love, or some relationship may be fizzling, but there are others there that can be supportive and helpful. All right, Scorpio and Taurus rising, I hope this was helpful, and I am curious. Let me know how the month turns out for you. If this was useful, would you give me a like, a subscribe, a comment, or a share? I would greatly appreciate it. And yeah, talk to you soon.